Over the next few days, St. Kitts and Nevis and other countries in the Leeward Islands are likely to experience excessive heat conditions that can moderately affect persons. Recently, the Meteorological Services in Antigua issued an excessive heat advisory indicating that temperatures could feel like it is between 100 to 106 degrees Fahrenheit because of a combination of conditions. Senior Meteorological Officer at the Met Office at the Robert L. Bratcher International Airport told SKN Newsline that the Federation could experience similar conditions.
Similar conditions are going to be affecting us because we have the high humidity along with the light winds and the warm temperature. So yes, it's going to be a bit warm, especially as we move closer to midday today and tomorrow. So we would generally advise the general public to exercise caution, keep hydrated, try to remain in the cool as much as possible, and try to minimize unnecessary exposure to the heat.
The increase in temperatures, he said, is being driven by a shift in wind direction, with the prevailing winds coming out of the southern equatorial areas.
Periodically, we would have the orientation in terms of the wind orientation changing, giving us the southwesterly winds. So it's nothing abnormal per se, because traditionally we expect our winds from the northeast. So yes, when you now start to get the winds coming from the south or the southeast, southwest, then you start to now get more of the equatorial warmth and moisture traversing the islands. So every now and then it will happen.
The general advice, therefore, is to stay hydrated by drinking water, stay in the shade as much as possible, and monitor your health conditions. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Denzel Douglas has confirmed that St. Kitts and Nevis' Vice Honorary Consul to Haiti, Harold Marzuka, who was kidnapped recently in Haiti, has been released. Dr. Douglas made this disclosure on a recent edition of The Narrative, a daily current affairs program that airs in Grenada on WPG-10 and other Caribbean TV channels.
Has been released. The details of his release we do not yet have. We know that certain demands were made which were not disclosed to us.
Dr. Douglas provided some more information on the kidnapping of Mr. Marzuka.
The father of our consul, honorary consul in Haiti, was kidnapped. His movement intercepted by gangs, and in a violent attempt to seize him, fired on his vehicle. Luckily, it was an armored vehicle, and then set ablaze the vehicle to get him out, and then he was taken. So that information came through. We know that he is the vice consul of the consulate in Haiti for St. Kitts and Nevis. So the son of the father, of course, he is the honorary consul, and his father is the vice honorary consul.
Foreign Affairs Minister had disclosed that the vice honorary consul was expected to be in attendance at Diplomatic Week this week, along with the other St. Kitts and Nevis diplomats. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
Ah!
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Want to buy some fresh fruits, vegetables, or ground provision, but don't have the time to go to the market or even to find parking? Look no further. Green Market and Delivery is your solution. Green Market and Delivery is an e-commerce store that sells and delivers local produce to customers in St. Kitts and Nevis. Anything you purchase, you can get fresh from the market and delivered directly to your door. Log on to www.greenmarketskn.com. Click on the e-store link, choose your items, and shop away. We have a wide array of products from fruits, vegetables, local products, spices and seasonings, and much more. Save time and energy. Shop on greenmarketskn.com, your one-stop shop for fresh local produce.
Online radio has never been this great. It's Voice of the Caribbean Radio at voiceofthecaribbean.net. Tune into Voice of the Caribbean Radio for great Caribbean programs, news, entertainment, sports, and current affairs. Wake up each morning and be inspired with One Day at a Time with Kim Huey. Stay abreast with news across the Caribbean and internationally with the Caribbean News Hour, and be entertained with shows like Reggaeville, Caribbean Classics, and Jive Music Show. Visit our website, download our Android mobile app, or listen us on TuneIn Radio. There is so much more on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, reaching the Caribbean and beyond. Check website or app for program schedule.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew is making a case for the increase of the minimum wage. Speaking at his third annual Constituency 8 Gala Dinner and Awards ceremony at Royal St. Kitts Hotel on Saturday, Prime Minister Drew highlighted the achievements of his government so far and pressed the need to accomplish other initiatives, including increasing the minimum wage.
But what also came to mind is that through all of this development, we must ensure that the disparity that exists between those who have a lot and those who don't have a lot, that we narrow that gap. That is also essential for the takeoff. For no country with significant gaps between those who have and those who don't have can truly develop resilience, sustainability, and prosperity for all. And as such, I want to say that is why we are looking seriously at dealing with the minimum wage here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Meanwhile, keynote speaker Willa Franks-Liburd spoke of the accomplishments of the government and the progress the country has made in recent times. She noted this is the beginning of a new era.
Over the years, despite a number of bumps and hurdles, the Federation has steadily grown and developed, raising the standard of living for thousands of its people. World Bank statistics show that among the 15 Caribbean countries which make up the Caribbean community and common market, St. Kitts and Nevis has the second highest per capita income. At over US $18,000 per annum, it is second only to the Bahamas and classified in the high income bracket. It is also classified by the United Nations in its Human Development Report as having high human development.
The Constituency 8 Gala Dinner and Awards ceremony recognizes persons from the constituency who have made invaluable contributions to their respective communities and fields of endeavor. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
Lois Harris, one of the founding members of the National Association of Administrative Professionals on St. Kitts, said the association will join organizations worldwide in commemorating Administrative Professionals Day on 24th April 2023. According to Ms. Harris, the National Association is hosting a workshop open to all administrative professionals on the island. Speaking with SKN Newsline on the upcoming event, Ms. Harris provided more details on the event and the National Association.
The theme for the workshop is the power of influence, staying motivated in the workplace. And we've brought in a speaker from St. Lucia who will deal with that topic for us. It's 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and then at 1 o'clock we'll have a luncheon. We usually do a luncheon with the participants of the workshop. During the luncheon session, we are going to be honoring a long-standing member of the association. This is Kathleen Jean Thomas. She was the first secretary of the year in St. Kitts, and she was also a founding member of the association. I'd like to recognize the contribution of 3 members of our association that passed during 2022. We have Debbie O'Dane, we have Dawn Mills, and Ina Samuels. Ina and Debbie were members, foundation members. They joined the association, started in 1981. Dawn was a past president. We are a training organization, so to empower our members to aspire for higher education. And we have done a reasonable good job of that. We've had quite a few of our members who have excelled in their profession.
Harris said the organization is open for new members and is seeking persons to be active leaders to steer the organization into a new era. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
Ah! What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Want to buy some fresh fruits, vegetables, or ground provision, but don't have the time to go to the market or even to find parking? Look no further. Green Market and Delivery is your solution. Green Market and Delivery is an e-commerce store that sells and delivers local produce to customers in St. Kitts and Nevis. Anything you purchase, you can get fresh from the market and delivered directly to your door. Log on to www.greenmarketskn.com. Click on the e-store link, choose your items, and shop away. We have a wide array of products from fruits, vegetables, local products, spices and seasonings, and much more. Save time and energy. Shop on greenmarketskn.com, your one-stop shop for fresh local produce.
Online radio has never been this great. It's Voice of the Caribbean Radio at voiceofthecaribbean.net. Tune into Voice of the Caribbean Radio for great Caribbean programs, news, entertainment, sports, and current affairs. Wake up each morning and be inspired with One Day at a Time with Kim Huey. Stay abreast with news across the Caribbean and internationally with the Caribbean News Hour, and be entertained with shows like Reggaeville, Caribbean Classics, and Jive Music Show. Visit our website, download our Android mobile app, or listen us on TuneIn Radio. There is so much more on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, reaching the Caribbean and beyond. Check website or app for program schedule.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
Harsh penalties have no real impact on crime.
It never has. What is important is that the whole process is effective and efficient.
But Chief Justice Brian Sykes says what can impact crime is a seamless judicial system, from the moment of an arrest through to trial and appeal. Noting that criminal cases are typically addressed promptly, the Chief Justice admits that as the trial progresses, there are delays that hamper efficiency.
And so what the data is telling us is that third-party actors are now responsible for significant delays. For example, defense counsel absent, disclosure to be made by the prosecution, various certificates to be provided.
The expected wait time between arrest and trial is 2 years. And as long as this holds true, Chief Justice Sykes says the speed of a completed trial is likely to have the desired impact on crime deterrence.
If I am a criminal, for example, and I realize that these things are taking years to come on for trial, why is that a deterrent? It doesn't matter what the penalty is. The question is, will I be tried? And will I be tried in an appropriate time period? That is really the question.
Meanwhile, Chief Justice Sykes raises concern for the millions of dollars that are returned from the Ministry of Justice to the Ministry of Finance yearly.
So the question is, why is that happening when the courts are in the state that they are in? That's an important question to us. So from my standpoint, the question is not so much a shortage of resources, because if you're returning millions, it means that the resources were allocated and we're not using it. So why are we not using it? So you might not get everything that you want in any 1 year.
Though he says over a period of time the resources are provided, he advocated for strategic planning as a means of better managing resources. Nasika Aliman reporting for CVM Live.
The Prime Minister placing matters into context as increasing numbers of public sector workers agitate for increased salaries.
I find, though, that political elements are now taking over the leadership of these institutions, and they're becoming a little reckless with their demands. And if this continues unabated, they could plunge the country into a crisis, because at the end of the day, if the government is called upon to pay increases that it cannot afford, then there'll be only one or two possible options.
The head of government, who is also finance minister, says each option for the government, if that were to happen, would be challenging for the country.
One, we increase taxes, or two, we retrench, or maybe both, so possibly three. Now, we would like to maintain the stability in prices, so we would not want to necessarily increase prices at this time by increasing taxes. And in addition, we are opposed to retrenching. So we continue to ask for some level of reasonableness. Workers, we understand the difficulties, but they also have to understand too that government revenues have declined significantly as a result of COVID, and we are still suffering from the lingering effects of COVID.
Prime Minister Brown says the government has already committed to ensuring improved wages, despite what some multilateral agencies have said.
Yes, we have agreed to give an increase, and this is despite the advice of the IMF and other institutions who have asked us to try and hold any increases in salaries and wages. But notwithstanding, you said, we have to go the extra mile but haven't gone the extra mile and we've been pushed to go beyond the capacity of the government, then they're going to create a crisis. And I just want them to know that their actions also have consequences. Not that we're threatening anyone, but if we don't sensitize the public as to the possible consequences of demands that are beyond the means of the government, then perhaps they can argue that they made demands out of ignorance. So I think it's in our interest or remit as leaders to bring to the attention the possible consequences without, it being, let's say, our position being considered as a threat.
Prime Minister Brown says there is also another risk to unreasonable demands for wage increases. They would have an inflationary impact at a time when inflation is already a significant challenge.
They have walked long distances through some of the harshest conditions in the world. No matter how difficult their journey, these migrants marching across Mexico say they're determined to stop only once they reach the United States.
We don't have any other alternative than leaving from here and to keep moving forward. We won't give up. All of us want to get to the United States to fight for a better future for my daughter here and another one I left in Honduras.
Fleeing violence and poverty in Central America, thousands of migrants walk together for safety to reach Mexico each year.
We have to move and keep aiming for our dream because I left with a dream. My wife is 4 months pregnant. This is my dream, to arrive in the United States and give it all to my daughter.
This group has mostly Venezuelans who flew to Panama or Costa Rica. Then it's the long journey north, on foot. They're aiming to reach Mexico City in around 10 days. But this is not just a search for better opportunities. These people are angry about a fire at a detention center in Mexico last month that killed 40 migrants. Now they carry crosses and banners to remember those who'll never see the US.
Now we have decided to move forward in this journey because of the 40 people who died there, who were set on fire. The officials are murderers. They don't want the migrants from our countries, and we want justice.
Even if they make it to the US border, entering the United States is not easy. Tough immigration policies are making it harder for migrants to claim asylum. And after spending days and weeks on the road, these children and their families may well be told to go back. Andrea van Beek, Al Jazeera.
President Biden is expected to formally announce his bid for re-election on Tuesday. If he does announce it, he would be the oldest president to do so. Mr. Biden is currently 80 years old and would be 86 at the end of a potential second term. So far, he doesn't face any major challenges for the Democratic nomination, but there are several Republican candidates officially vying to take on Mr. Biden, including Ambassador Nikki Haley and, of course, former President Donald Trump. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is also expected to run. Well, Ed O'Keefe is the senior White House correspondent for CBS.
We're anticipating that it's going to happen on Tuesday with some kind of a video announcement, very common for politicians to do it that way these days, and it'll be some kind of summation about what he would like to still yet do should he win 4 more years. What I'm keen to know is whether he's going to mention perhaps the biggest barrier for him right now with voters that continues to show up in polling, and that is his age. How does he explain that? How does he justify being an 80-year-old man running for president, already the oldest U.S. president? Can he assuage the concerns, especially within his own party, which is a far younger party than Republicans, that he's up to the job, that he can literally survive it until the end of his second term? And what then does he say about what has been not yet accomplished by his team that he would like to get done? But otherwise, watch him tout the accomplishments of the last few years, restoring America's position in the world, fighting to sustain democracy in this country and around the world as well, and probably reminding voters that if it's not him, it's going to be a Republican, either Donald Trump or somebody like him, who would strip away a lot of the progress that he would argue has been made in the last several years.
Opener Keegan Simmons was unbeaten on 31, while off-spinner Chaim Holder picked up all 3 scalps for 22 runs. But one of the main influential figures in the success inside 3 days was pacer Jon Lane, who bagged his maiden 5-wicket haul in the Team Headley first innings of 259.
Hard work, preparation, staying disciplined for as long as possible, being patient, all the right things to do. So, yeah, just putting the balls in the right area and being patient with it.
As a tall 19-year-old, Lane uses his height as an asset.
I look at it as a strength. Obviously, I tend to get a lot more bumps, a lot more carry, a lot more zip off the wicket in more situations than not.
Pivotal as well in the overwhelming victory was middle-order batsman Kevlon Anderson of Guyana. The 22-year-old Anderson's resolute 153 anchored the academy to 323 and a decisive 64-run lead. Bowling head coach Sir Curtly Ambrose, who's attached to Team Headley, is encouraged by the talent of fast bowlers in the region.
I've worked with most of these guys for a couple of years, and there's still abundance of talent in the Caribbean. There's some good fast bowlers on show. Obviously, there's still a lot to learn because you don't become a great fast bowler overnight. It takes time, it takes work, it takes commitment, and lots of cricket as well.
The second match of the series will bowl off on Wednesday when Team Weeks face the West Indies Academy, also at Coolidge. Jack Matthew, ABS Sports.
Welcome to the SKN Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boone. Here is a look at the forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. For a more detailed weather report, visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com.